In this video, we're going to go over the circulatory system of the Necturus. So to start us off, we have the heart right here, as you can see. We have the atria on the side of the heart right here. And let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more on that. Perfect. So we have the heart right here. This is the ventricle. We have the atria on the sides of the heart, so here and also on this side. The conus arteriosus is this little part right here, and then we have the bulbus arteriosus right here. The visceral pericardium would be on top of the heart, and then the parietal pericardium is the sac that it's in, which has mostly been torn away, but you can kind of see little parts left over of it on the side right here and right here. And then we have the sinus venosus, which is where blood is going to collect. And let's see if I can pull this back a bit. So the sinus venosus would be right in here. And then the hepatic sinuses are on both sides of it, here and here. And blood is going to collect in the sinus venosus right here. And then remember, the hepatic sinuses are on both sides of that. Just above the heart, we have the afferent branchial arteries, which are right here. And then branching off of that, we have the external carotid artery, which you can see running right up here. So the afferent branchial artery is right here, and then the external carotid is running right up here. We have, going down, we have some arteries in the arm. So first it's the subclavian, and these are really just regions. So the subclavian, right about here would be the brachial artery, and then the cutaneous is the furthest up. So we're gonna zoom out a bit. Let's see if we can zoom out. Here we go. All right, so when we're moving down, we have the dorsal aorta, and so here's the dorsal aorta. The first branch of the dorsal aorta is the gastric artery, and then that branches into the ventral gastric artery, which is on top, and the dorsal gastric artery, which is on bottom, and these run on the stomach, as you can see right here. And then next we're going to go down. Our next branch will be the coliaco-mesenteric artery, and we can actually see it better in this Necturus, so we're going to switch over to this Necturus and orient ourselves again. So dorsal aorta is running in here. We can see there's the gastric artery again. So the next branch, we're going to run all the way down here, is going to be the coliaco-mesenteric artery. So that's this one right here. That's the coliaco-mesenteric artery. It branches off into the splenic artery, and then also running with the splenic artery is the gastrosplenic vein. So right there we have the splenic artery and the gastrosplenic vein. We have the hepatoduodenal artery. So we're going to look here in the liver. The hepatoduodenal artery is right here. It's very faint. But it's basically, you can tell from the name, hepato is liver and duodenal is the duodenum. So the hepatoduodenal artery is right here. And then our pancreaticoduodenal artery is going to be running right along here. We can actually see that better in this Necturus. So orient ourselves again. Here's the liver. We have our hepatoduodenal artery would be kind of running right about here, and then our pancreaticoduodenal artery is right about here. And then we have renal arteries and veins, which are running with the kidney. So we have our kidney right here. The renal arteries and veins are here. This is a male. As you can see, we have our testis right here. So these are the testicular arteries and veins. If we have a female right here, we have the ovarian arteries and veins right here. And then we're gonna move down into the leg. There's some arteries you need to know in the leg. We have, moving all the way down, we have this little branch right here. So here's the tail right here. This first little branch is the iliac artery. So we have the iliac artery. It's gonna branch this way. As you can see, this is the epigastric artery. It branches towards the middle, right here, to the femoral artery. And then this one, this branch going this way, is the hypogastric artery. So we have the iliac, epigastric, femoral, hypogastric arteries. We have a renal portal vein, which runs on the bottom of the kidney. So we can flip that kidney over. As you can see, this little dark vein right here runs all along the kidney. That is the renal portal vein. We have the intersegmental artery and vein running here. These little arteries and veins running here into the body wall are the intersegmental arteries and veins. We have the posterior vena cava, is this vein right here. This big vein runs through the body, is the posterior vena cava. We have the pelvic veins also running down here towards the bottom. You can kind of see them on this side. Pelvic vein, you can see one kind of running right there. That darker portion is a pelvic vein. And then we have mesenteric arteries and veins. So we can see in the mesentery, we're gonna switch over to this one. So here's our female again. We have our stomach, orient ourselves. Here's the small intestine. The mesenteric arteries and veins are right here. The veins are dyed yellow, and then the arteries are red, as they typically are. And then we also have the ventral abdominal vein, which is gonna run this way. It's gonna be running towards the bottom. We're gonna switch back over to this one. The ventral abdominal vein is going to be running right through here. This would be the ventral abdominal vein as we kind of get further down. And then we have the intestinal veins also, better seen in this female. The intestinal veins would be down here. We can see the intestinal veins running along the intestine right here. And then in the liver, we have the hepatic portal vein, which is this main vein right here that runs through it. And then the hepatic veins are the tiny veins that branch off of it. And that should be everything that you need to know. Oh, we also have the pulmonary artery and vein, which runs in the lungs. So we have our lungs, the artery, and the vein is a little bit harder to see in this, but it's the little dark sections. But we do have the pulmonary artery and vein in the lungs. And that should be everything that you guys need to know for the circulatory system of the Necturus.